What is up, guys? Welcome yet to another tutorial, and my name of course is Carlo, and you are watching Film It VFX Studios. And today we're going to be creating this cool effect. Yeah, doesn't look too bad at all. Very sort of gothic-y, godly world, which you can probably create yourself and use for the bad guy or the good guy. And I've just started this tutorial not knowing what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's a very cool little effect. I was working on it for a couple of days, trying to figure out how to make it really cool and sort of relatively believable. So as you can see, we've got a lot of parallax going on here. We've got some clouds, we've got building, we've even got birds sort of flying in the background, and it's one of them worlds that you can sort of modify yourself and change the colors. So that's going to be exciting, showing you that. So I'll do a quick rundown for you, and then we'll jump straight into the tutorial. So for the lightning, if I just open up the lightning comp, I used Saber for lightning. I thought it'd be really cool to just see where I could sort of take Saber, and how cool I could sort of make it, and what I could sort of do with it, rather than, or what can be done with it, shall I say, rather than making little lightsabers and stuff like that. And I just found that it worked quite well. Not only that, you can change the colour of your lighting for this. So, you know, if you go into each sort of plane and play around with the lights and the colours, when you sort of jump into back into the comp, so if I just change the lighting here for instance, and I just jump into the main comp, automatically it's updated, as you can just see that there. So if I just go back to my Kingdom of Skies, and I go back into my light comp and just maybe change this one to like a blue, as you can see we're getting a nice blue aura in the background here. And this is how many Saber layers I basically use for this tutorial, so I can just make that one, bring that to a red. Yeah, and it's really cool. So hopefully this tutorial should help you guys learn quite a few techniques. Learning techniques on how to create clouds, or moving clouds, shall I say, how to, you know, put a building or whatever you want in the scene, how to make it 3D, bit of green screening going on here, so on and so on. So hopefully this is going to be a really cool tutorial for you guys. So let's get cracking. So I'm just going to bring this in, and I'm going to create a new composition, keep it 30 seconds long, click OK. And then firstly I'm going to import my assets. Now the assets are available in the description below, so I'm just going to go to my one world. These are my assets here, so I'm just going to import them, and I'm just going to import that, and that's done. Yeah, just check out the description below for the assets. They are in a media file link for you guys to use and play around with as much as you see fit. So yes, we've got the building here that I used, which is just a static picture. We've got smoke, which is a static PNG file, and we are going to be using this quite a lot. So I'm just going to get my PNG smoke, and I'm just going to place it into a position, and then I'm going to control and duplicate that, say 9 times, and then I'm just going to place this basically around the screen in different parts, just to cover the screen up, and then we'll just keep going with that until we sort of filled the screen. So let's control it, say 12 times. Like so, and just bring this over here, maybe this one over here. Control D it as many times as you see fit, to sort of cover your scene, shall I say. We're just going to get this one and move it here, and just play around with the clouds, and just place them basically wherever you want to place them, really, in your competition comp, shall I say. So what we can do is we can just say get this one and hold down shift, select 4 on the keyboard, and just rotate these just a little bit, and maybe sort of place them there, and then we could get each cloud and just turn them around just to make them look a little bit different. You can leave a bit of black if you want, but I like to sort of cover as much of the black as I can, just to give it some variation, like that. Bring this one, say, down here. Let's close all these up. Let's get this one and just Control D a few more times. Don't worry, your workspace will clean itself up, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, because we're going to be having quite a few layers. So yeah, right, okay, so that's that done. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the first one, hold down shift, and highlight all of them. We're going to make all of them a 3D layer, so it's going to be yeah, it's going to go a bit manic on your screen. So we've got some sort of depth here, and then we're going to start about here, hit P on the keyboard for position, click stopwatch, move over, say, about 10 frames, and on the Z axis we're just going to bring it forward like so. And then what we've done is we've just created a little bit of animation moving forward for our clouds, which is pretty cool. As you can see there, if you want it faster, just get the keyframes and bring them over. So it all depends how fast you want it to go. So the closer the keyframes are to the start, the quicker it's going to go. So we're just going to shrink all that, and we're just going to select the top one, hold down shift and select the bottom one, go to layer, pre-compose, and we're going to call this cloud set 1, and bada bing. So we're sort of clearing up as we go along, and now we've got our first set of clouds sort of moving towards us. So we have our cloud texture, obviously, in the description below. We're going to drop that on top, like so, and then we're going to open it up, and then we're just going to bring the opacity right down, say about 30%, like so. So now when we're moving, we've got some depth. As you can see, we've got the clouds in the background, and it just gives it a nice bit of 3D dimension. Now what we can do is we can click on the 3D icon, push the cloud picture straight back into Z space, hit P on the keyboard, click the stopwatch, go to 10 frames to about there, and then we can get the Z axis and sort of bring it forward, so our background is moving as well. But if you don't worry, just delete the keyframes and just keep it the way it is. But I'm just showing you that just in case you want to have the back plate, shall I say, moving at the same time. So we've not finished there, shall I say. We're going to get some separate clouds, and we're just going to drop a cloud here. So we've got a cloud here. We're going to make that 3D layer, and we're just going to bring it forward and bring it down to about there, and so push it back. I'm going to hit P on the keyboard, correct position, and we're just going to go, say, about 8 frames, and then we're just going to bring it in slowly. So basically what we're doing is we're just creating a bit of parallax between the background plate, the foreground plate, as you can see there, and the what do you call it, the cloud. So it looks like it's giving it a really sort of nice 3D look, as you can see there. Right, so we're going to get this top layer and we're going to control D it twice, and that's going to allow us to have a few more smokes, shall I say, or clouds, sort of moving in a sort of parallax sort of 3D environment like that. So if we press play now, I'll run preview that. As you can see, they're sort of moving forward like so, and it don't look too bad at all. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the smoke subtle, so we're going to click on the first smoke, and then we're just going to open up our transform, and we're going to bring the opacity down to about 50% on that one. On our bottom one, we're going to go to transform. We're going to bring our opacity down to say 30%, and on our final smoke, we'll bring that down to 20%. And that just gives it a little bit of difference, shall we say. It makes it different, each cloud. So we're going to hold down shift, highlight in 3, go to layer, pre-compose, and we're going to call that cloud set 2. And as you can see now, if we play it back, we've got some nice parallax of smoke overlaying our back smoke and our background image. Now we will play around with the color correction on that when we add our final adjustment layer, but for the time being that looks pretty cool. So now we're going to go to new, we're going to go to solid, we're going to call this lightning. We're just going to hit enter, and this is where we're going to add our Saber layer, shall I say. And when you open up Saber, obviously it gives you this little thing here. Now let's make this blending mode and put it to screen so we can see it, and then we're going to go to electric. We're just going to bring that over and put that, say, about there to about here. And we're going to play around with the glow intensity. So I had mine like an orange, like a sort of dark orange. And we're just going to play around with this. So this is how I did it before, and it got the best results. So 45 for the glow spread, and we're just going to punch this base one up, bring the core one up to about there. And then what we're going to do, if we move this, as you can see, it's giving quite a nice sort of effect. But when we play it, as you can see, this all moves. Okay, which looks really cool. So we're going to go down and bring our glow multiplier just a bit up, should we say, to about there. Don't worry, this will make sense to you guys. And then we're just going to bring this really small. And we're going to make sure our Saber is selected so we can move the whole layer. And then we're just going to zoom in with it, should I say. Let's bring it back and zoom right in with it. And just make it a little bit bigger. Then we're going to drop our lightning below our cloud set at the bottom. And automatically that's given us quite a nice sort of lightning sunrise effect, shall I say, but we ain't finished with that yet. So let's just solo that layer so we can play a bit with this effect, or shall I say this Saber effect. So distortion, glow distortion, and let's go to energy. So we're going to change it to energy. We're going to go to multiply like so, and we're just going to check to make sure our lightning is sort of moving, our light is moving, shall I say. And we're going to bring the noise up like so. Now we're going to go to flicker, and we're going to bring the flicker intensity right up, and what that's going to do is make it, this bit, flicker a lot. So we're just going to push that right up, like you just see there, and that's making it, it's giving you that nice flashing lightning sort of effect. So if we unsolo this now and we play it, as you can see, we get that really lovely lightning effect, flashing effect, shall I say. And the great thing is you can come into your colour and you can change the colour, say to a blue or a dark blue. Just push this up, click OK, and whatever colour you change it to, you're going to get that really cool flashing lightning effect without using an advanced lightning effect in After Effects. So Saber does have some very, very cool uses, like I just said, apart from, you know, creating lightsabers and stuff like that. Now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to Control D this 2 more times, and obviously that is going to give our intensity of our lightning and make it a little bit more stronger, like you've just seen there. But the beauty is we can get our second layer and we can sort of move it over here like so, and we can get our third layer and just, you know, bring it somewhere else, say down here. And now when we RAM preview that and play that back, it's looking really, really cool. Now obviously you've got control, so if we select this one and we change that to like I don't know, like a sort of fiery red, you can change the look of the other lightning. So if we go to this one, obviously that's still going to be blue, so you can push that to a nice red colour. Whatever you want to make it, or shall I say whatever you want to create colour wise, it's entirely up to you guys. So they've all got their own separate layers, even though we duplicated them. So we can have a nice, oh, green's a bit off, so we can have a nice sort of yellow. Right, now you can see this. If there's a harsh line, all you're doing is you're going to scale that up, and you're just going to put it into a position on the actual screen where you want to place your lightning. So we play that now, got some nice lightning effect. Now if you look carefully, it's all flashing at the same time. So what can we do about that? Well, it's very, very simple. If you look at each of these and you look at flicker intensity, they're all exactly the same. So we're going to go to the top one and we're going to reduce that right down, say 287. Then we can bring this one down to about 150. We can get our bottom one down and bring that to about 600, like so. Now what you've done is you've given variation in your lightning. So if you look now, it's all different the way it's changing colour. But like I've just said, that colour yellow is not working for me, so I'm just going to bring that to an orange and bring this to an orange as well, and bring the top one maybe a blue. Right, so now this will all change obviously once you've sort of got your colour correction. Where did I get the purple from? Let's put this to a blue as well. So this is all sort of play around with it, just to get the best results. Now the way I did it, I made them, believe it or not, all black. I made my lightning black. I found that it gave the most realistic look. So if I just go to my bottom one and just change that to a black, I just thought it looked better when it was flashing, like you've just seen there. It just looks a hell of a lot better. Now we still haven't finished yet, so we're going to go to our top one and we're going to go to our glow, and now we're going to play around with our glow intensity, so we can bring that up and just make it so when it's flashing, it's a lot more vibrant, shall I say, as you can just see there. And that's yeah, that looks pretty sweet. It's not looking too bad at all. Now we're going to go back to our project setting, and we've got this bit of footage here of these birds flying, shall I say. So this is a green screen, so we're going to drop that on, and this file as well is available in the description below for you to use. And I'm going to go to keying, Keylight 1.2, get my dabber and key out my birds. Now this is a perfect key, so you won't have to do the adjustments or the screen map, because if I go to that, they're absolutely perfect. So I'm going to go to this bit here. I'm going to place the birds where I want, and now I'm just going to play around with the color correction of them birds. So I'm going to go to effects, color correction, curves, and I'm just going to bring them up to about there. And then what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to open the birdies, and I'm going to go to transform and bring the opacity of the birds right down, and just try and mix them in with the scene. So now when I play back, I've got some really cool birds flying in the background. So we're going to get these birds and bring them below cloud set 2, just to give a parallax, and we can scale these birds down. So if you select your birds, press S on the keyboard, scale them right down, and just put them somewhere or anywhere you want in the scene. It's entirely up to you. As you can see, we've got some wicked clouds going on here, we've got some cool lightning, and we've got some birds. If I go to fit on the screen, we've got some birds flying in the background. So quite a few techniques that I've just showed you there, which I think look pretty cool for you to use. So we've done some green screening, we've made some 3D clouds, we've made some lightning, and all in the space of 20 minutes, which is not bad at all. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our city, okay, which, believe it or not, is just a picture. So I'm just going to go to my project, and I'm going to find my picture, which is this. I'll drop it on top, and that's it. This is all it is. Okay, so we're going to get our pencil, and it doesn't matter how rough you are with this, because it's going to be hidden by clouds. Just cut your tower out, or whatever you want to use, whatever picture you want to use. I will include this in the description as well, guys, for you. So I'm just going to cut it out, do a rough garbage mat, like so. And that looks awful, doesn't it? Absolutely awful. I'm just going to put this into position, hit F on the keyboard, and really feather the hell out of that. So automatically, if I just switch this off, it's starting to take effect. It's not looking too bad at all. But what we're going to do is we're going to push that below cloud set 2 as well. Where have we just put it? Actually, we're going to go below the cloud texture. So the cloud texture map that we have, we're just going to go below it, because I want the clouds here to be in front. So now we're going to make this picture a 3D layer, and if I just put it into position, I can just get me Z, let's bring it in like that, and we're just going to animate this quickly. So P on the keyboard, create position, bring it forward, going with your animation, and just get the Z axis and just either bring it forward or bring it back. It's entirely up to you how you want the animation to look. So yeah, if we just ran preview this quickly, it's not looking too bad at all. We've got some nice birds, we've got a 3D building, well, not 3D, shall I say, 2D building, just zooming in there. And I want to do a tutorial where we've got the same sort of techniques, but I'm going to make it so the building's 3D. So instead of just zooming in, we're just going to fly around the building with the camera. So if you want a tutorial like that, just pop a message in the description below, and we'll get that sorted for you. Okay, now if we look at this carefully, these birds are moving way too quickly for my liking, as you can just see. So if we just select our bird layer, out to layer, time stretch, and we're going to change this from 100 to 300, and that's going to make the video longer, but it's going to make these birds fly slower. So if I just press play here, as you can see, it's not rendered out yet, but you can see that the birds yeah, are moving slower. Okay, so yeah, looking pretty sweet there so far. Let's just bring this into a view. Okay, so now we're gonna put a few more cloud smoke. So I'm just gonna get my cloud smoke, and then I'm just gonna drop one there, maybe just there, shall I say? And I'm gonna get another one, and maybe put it there, just to give it a three-dimensional look. If you're doing 3D out of 2D, it's always clever to put things in front. Just to give it that extra bit of dimension. So we're gonna get the first bit of smoke, hold shift, select the rest of them, make that a 3D layer, and we're just gonna get our Z-axis, just bring it up just a bit, just about there. Hit P on the keyboard, and we're changing positions on all of these. Remember, so go to about 8 seconds, and simply just get your Z and just push them forward. Like so we've just got a bit of cloud dimension, so these clouds will move forward. Having a nice cup of coffee, guys, while I'm doing this. Okay, so that is looking pretty sweet. Now if you want to speed the clouds up, get the keyframes and bring them closer, but if you want to make them slower, which I normally do, so it goes to about 18 frames on that, yeah, it will make them slower and a little bit more believable. As you can see there, they're moving quite slow, and that's looking pretty goddamn wicked. So we're going to close all that, and we're going to get this top smoke, and we're going to hold your shift, select the bottom smoke. Oh, not that one. Hold shift, and we're going to go layer and pre-compose that one as well, and we're going to call that cloud set 3%. Bada bing, bada bosh. There we go, looking pretty sweet. As you can see there, got some lightning, we've got some birds, we've got a cool building, you know, we've got some really cool moving clouds, and yes, yeah, just looking pretty different, and it's looking pretty cool. And it's basically just using your imagination. Now, obviously, when you look at these cloud sets, if you want anything in between them, you just drop it in between. And you could just place objects in between the clouds, just to give it a bit of parallax. So if you want more birds, so if I wanted another flock of birds, shall I say, I could bring a bird in here, and then I could key that out. So I go to effects, key light 1.2, and then I'll just key that out, and then I can add some birds in the front here. So if I just S on the keyboard, scale that down, and I can bring the birds over the top. So not only got birds in the background, we've got birds in the foreground as well. The only thing we've got to do is we've got to colour correct the hell out of this, or we don't even have to colour correct that, shall I say. We can open this up, bring the opacity down on them birds just a bit, and just bring that over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slow these birds down, because they're going to be moving the same speed as these ones. So we can speed them up, or we can slow them down. So we go to layer, time stretch, and hit time stretch. We can go, say, 60% on that, and that's going to speed them birds up. So they're going to look like a different flock from this one, this set here, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Okay, so final stages on this. We're going to create a new adjustment layer. We're going to leave the adjustment layer obviously on top, and then we're going to go to effects, color correction, and we're just going to color correct this. So we're going to curves. Now what I did for my one is I punched the red up and just gave it a sort of really nice red look. Let's punch the blue up, down a bit. So just bring the blue down, and then go to RGB. You can bring that down, you can bring that up, and you can change the colour any way you see fit, really. I just really like the sort of 300 look in my effects. I don't know why. But that's it, guys. You've just created your own little world in After Effects using Saber for lightning. Yeah, and some really cool techniques. So if you have enjoyed this one world tutorial, a like rating, guys, would definitely be loved. And as always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, why not, guys? Hit that subscribe button and just enjoy more tutorials, vlogs, and just basically loads of fun on this channel. So as always, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll definitely catch you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.